He made this entire Nike style ad using AI, and in this video I will break down exactly how I did it.
Woke up today, smile on my face, may not go my way, still got my faith, so I'll be okay. I'll be okay, I'll be okay. Running our race, just at our pace. Made some mistakes, but learned a few things, so I'll be okay. I'll be okay, I'll be okay. Yeah, I've been through it all, I've been through it all. Looking at Goliath at the stand tall. My heart it feel like David every time I fall. My problems look like giants, I'ma slay them all. Every single beef I had to let it be. Spend a lot of time wasting energy. That ain't made sense to me logically, but I feel way better when I walk in peace. Please don't bring the gossip to me, I mean no offense. I'm finding out jealousy, only a lack of confidence. Focused on me more, focused on you less. Everybody do that, look around and we blessed. Woke up today, smile on my face, may not go my way, still got my faith, so I'll be okay. I'll be okay, I'll be okay. Running our race, just at our pace. Made some mistakes, but learned a few things, so I'll be okay. I'll be okay, I'll be okay, yeah.
And I want to be very clear from the start. This is an entire project, from the idea to the final edit. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact process that I use step by step to create the video. I will show you how I came up with the first idea, how I built the whole storyline, how I created the storyboard, the images, and how I animated them, and how everything came together into the final edit. So let's get into it. The first thing I started with is the idea, because Nike ads are not really about the product, they're about the story that you're gonna tell. So I wanted to tell an origin story of a kid who grew up in a poor neighborhood, and he's obsessed with football. It's everywhere in his life. But at the same time, his mother is struggling. Bills are piling up and she's doing her best, but it's a bit hard. So as you can imagine, football becomes kind of a way out of this life. Until later on in the story, where we see the kid actually becoming an adult and playing for the national team of Portugal with his proud mom cheering up for him. So the main slogan that I wanted to go with was make your loved one proud just by doing it. And to be honest, this story is a bit inspired by my life, by my personal life, because I lived with a struggling single mother and we lived in a poor neighborhood when I was a kid, and I was always trying to succeed in life to kind of like make her proud. And it's also a universal story, which is something really important if you want people to resonate with your video. So now that we have the main story, and before starting using any AI tools, I needed to define the universe. So I spent a little bit of time thinking about the lighting, the colors, the overall mood. I wanted something cinematic but a bit grounded. I wanted people to feel that the kid was really struggling, and also throughout the story I wanted people to feel hope for him and his mother. And I wanted to focus on the eyes of the main characters, because we know that humans transfer a lot of emotion through eyes. So that's something that I wanted to see from the beginning to the end. Quick thing before we continue, so this video took me a lot of time to do, to be honest guys. So if you're getting any value from this, it would mean the world for me if you can take a couple of minutes just to fill out the form that is in the description below. It's just a small form to understand your needs, what you want to do with AI, what you want to build, so I can produce better video for you guys. Thanks a lot. And once I had everything in mind, the rest became really easy. Then what I've done is that I've used ChatGPT to kind of like get a better idea on how I want to separate everything into scenes, which is really important if you want to do like a whole story. So using ChatGPT, I came up with 5 different scenes. The first one is the emotional setup. That's one of the most important scenes, because we're going to see the environment where the kid grew up, his dreams, his struggles, and that's also the introduction to the main character. The second scene was the introduction to the second character, which is his mom. Same thing here, we need to see the emotion, we need to see the environment, and also the fact that she's struggling to pay bills. The third scene is kind of an introduction to the third character, which is football. So we need to see the kid training and playing football with his friends. That's also the first introduction to the brand Nike. The fourth scene is kind of like a progression. That's where we see him growing up and playing football at a better level to become pro, if you will. And the last scene is going to be the consecration, where we see him playing for the national team of Portugal and his mom cheering up for him. To be honest, it's not the perfect script. If I had to do it again, maybe I will add some scenes where the kid gets bullied, or maybe I will emphasize a little bit the terrible situation that he's in with his mom, because it creates even more emotional attachment to him. But at this point, to be honest, it was enough for me to create a cool story and start creating the first frames. So like I said, my main focus was emotion and storytelling. So that's why we not really create crazy movements or crazy effects or crazy transitions. Here Here the goal is to create shots that create emotion, so mainly the eyes of the people and the environment, so as you can clearly see that they are in poor situation. And the second most important thing would be selecting the music. For me, the choice of the music is so important that this is going to separate good ad versus great ad. So I was looking for something sad at the beginning and that can finish with the hope at the end, you know? Because you're going to see during the editing phase that I'm actually using music to decide how long each scene is going to last, where the cut should happen, and how the tension should build. But don't worry, I'm going to show you that later on in the editing breakdown. So to do that, I use this website called Artlist, which is a really nice website if you want to find royalty-free music. And I ended up choosing this music from Derek Minor, I'll Be Okay, which transmits the exact message that I want. Because as you can hear, the beginning is a bit slow. In the middle, you get the feeling that the music is going and you get a bit of hope, you know?
Welcome today, smile on my face, may not go my way, still got my face, so I'll be okay.
Especially the lyrics, like I'll be okay, this is perfect for the mood that I'm looking for. Alright, so now that I had the music and the story, I needed the characters. And as you know, character consistency is a big issue with AI, so this was the big challenge of this project. Because I needed the kid and the mom to look the same in every scene. And throughout the video, they're getting older, so they need to look the same, but with 5 to 10 years more. So to do that, I used Nano Banana Pro, as you can see here, on the website called Higgsfield.ai, because as you can see here, you have unlimited generation with it, so it was perfect for me. And by the way, if you want to try the website, you have a link in the description below. So the main idea was to create a high quality reference image for the kid and for the mother, so that I can use this reference image building up all the scenes. So as you can see here, it took me a couple of tries to find out which one I wanted, and I ended up choosing actually this one, which for me was the best. And what I decided to do is kind of like find a guy that kind of looked like the image that I had in mind, with the green eyes and the black hair. And as you can see, my prompt is pretty simple. I just said create a young boy around 9 years old inspired by his first image, and I want to see him with the same setup as the second image. So I gave him like the second image, which was just a white background like this one, and I ended up with this image, which is exactly the one that I wanted, and I used it as a reference image for the rest of the scenes. Also, I created another reference image to see him with a full body shot. I just told him to create a full body image of this kid wearing a white t-shirt and a blue short, and I gave him this first image as a reference. And for the mom, it was even easier because I just gave him this simple prompt: create a woman that can be the mother of this kid, and I gave him basically the kid that I had as a reference, and he created something amazing. Like, she can be his mother, like she looked exactly like him, she has same hair, same color of eyes, same tan, you know, so it was perfect. Oh, and as you can see, for this one I used Kling 01 image. I didn't use Nano Banana. The one that Nano Banana gave me here was nice, but it wasn't exactly as good as this one. Then I also created the older version of the kid, so this one, so I said, okay, make this kid 20 years old. So he wasn't really 20 years old here, but he's a bit older, like we can say he's like 15. And same thing, I just gave him like the base image like this one, and I used Sea Dreams for this one. So as you can see, it really depends. Sometimes I used Kling, sometimes I used Sea Dream, but I would say that 90% of the time I used Nano Banana Pro. And same thing here, I wanted another version who is a bit older, so 25 years old, same prompt and same image reference, and the image came up perfect for me. And I did exactly the same thing for the mother, so make this woman older, around 60 years old, by giving him also this reference image, and he did an amazing job. He kept the character consistency, just kind of like the same facial features, but she has gray hair, she has a bit of wrinkles, so it's perfect. So now that we have the characters and we know which scene we want to create, I used Nano Banana to generate images that we're gonna transform later on into videos using Kling. This way we'll let the image generation do the heavy lifting of the motion of the scene instead of the video generation. So as you can see here, I started by thinking about the room, like the environment, what I wanted. I started using Sea Dreams at the beginning, then I used a bit of Nano Banana Pro. So I wanted something really dirty. I wanted like to see the ball. I wanted also to see, you know, the football players on the wall, so Cristiano Ronaldo, a bit of Messi. And I wanted to see how it would work if we can see the scene from the top. And as you can see, Sea Dream was good, but the issue that I had with it was, as you can see here, like we don't really see Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo really well. I mean, they don't look like exactly them. But with Nano Banana, you get actually better results. I mean, this guy looks like Messi, this guy looks like Cristiano Ronaldo, and even the details in the room, they were way better. Also, there was a little bit of smoke, you know, in the room, and that kind of like created a cinematic effect, which I liked. Same thing here for the neighborhood. So I tried a lot of stuff, but I ended up like choosing this one. It was pretty simple. I didn't want something that much crazy. I wanted a poor environment, so the building needed to be, as you can see here, a bit broken. And I wanted to see the sunlight because for me it was the morning. So my prompt was really simple. I used actually a prompt generator with ChatGPT that I'm going to put in the description below if you want to use it. Then as you can see, I've tried like a lot of angles. I wanted to see like which one were the best. Like I wanted the kid to kind of like being lying down and looking at the poster, looking at his idols, you know, Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. But the main issue that I had is that everything was too long, like thinking about the angle, thinking about the lens of the camera, how the kid is going to be positioned in the bed. And then I came across this video from AI for real life, and in his video he showed a way better process than I was using. So instead of creating images frame by frame, which was a pain in the ass, he basically generated a storyboard with 9 images for each scenes. So I did that, and then I selected the images that worked the best for me. And this was day and night, guys, because Nano Banana can generate multiple images. And if you give him the right story, it will think about the right angle, the right camera to use. And if you have no notion of cinematography or lenses or camera to use, this is the best way to go for you guys. For example, this is the first scene that I wanted to create, where the kid is waking up, and my prompt was really easy. So it was create a sequence of 9 cinematic film stills that tell a short story, then you tell the story that you want. So for me it was the kid is sleeping, but he gets woken up by his alarm and then looks at the ceiling, sit on the side of the bed looking at the soccer ball with a sad expression. Then he grabs the soccer ball and leaves his room. And then you just added it should be a very cinematic scene with the shadow depths of field, etc. By the way, don't worry, I will put the prompt structure in the description below. And then I gave him the reference images that we created before. So this one, and this one, which was the room. And then as you can see, he created the whole storyboard. So the kid is waking up and then he's picking up the ball and going out. Then I used this image as a reference, and I just told him to extract, for example, the top left frame, which was actually the one where he's sleeping, and this one, and I get high quality image that I can use as a still frame to create my next scene. So I did this process 2 or 3 times so I can get different images that I can choose from. For example, like this bottom one was really nice, this one also. So I extracted all the images that I wanted, and for this example you have to use Nano Banana Pro. Seedream 4.5 doesn't work, and as you can see I did that every time. So for each scenes I had to create the whole storyboard, which was really simple, and then extract the images that I wanted. So this is for scene 2, this one was scene number 3, this one and this one were scene number 4, and this one was for scene 5. Oh, and this one also was for scene number 5. So at the end I ended up using a mix of scenes that I wanted to create by myself, that I had the vision before, and also scenes that came from the 9 images storyboard that I created with Nano Banana. Once I had all the images, I moved on to animation. And as I said, the heavy lifting was done by generating the images, so the video generation was really simple. It was just like zoom in, zoom out, and slightly adjustment of the cameras. So for that I used a mix of Kling 01 and Kling 2.6, and the prompts were really easy. Like this one was the kid is looking at the ball and the camera is slowly zooming in, so this is what we get. So for example, if I want to show emotions, that's exactly what I want. You know, I want the kid with the green eyes looking at the camera. Then I also had to do some transitions in between scenes. So what I did is that with Kling you can add a start frame and an end frame. So this is my start frame and this is the end frame. And I just said, okay, the kid is walking out the room. And as you can see, I ended up with that. So again, guys, this is not perfect. This is AI, but you can use the beginning here and you can use the end here. And that's what we're going to do in the editing part later on. That's where you need to be a bit creative and find ways to still use the generation that you've done by removing the AI parts which are not usable. Oh, and obviously I need to show you guys the best transitions, which were actually so easy to do. This one, which is basically a transition where the kid is running on the side and you can see him growing up in the same time, the season passing by, so that you can feel the time passing by. And it was really easy to do. Like I just gave him the first frame, which was this one, the second frame, which was him running in the rain but a bit older, and the prompt is the kid is running and the camera is following him on the side. The weather is changing. Like from the first generation I had this. As you can see, the kid is perfectly like morphing into his older version where he's like 15, and then I took another one where he started in the rain and he ended up in the snow, and it was the same prompt. I ended up with this transition. Some parts were a bit more complicated to create. For example, this one where the kid is like shooting the ball. So I gave him like the first frame and I was like, yeah, the kid is shooting into the ball, the camera is zooming out. Yeah, as you can see, it's not really the best. So the first part is not usable, but this part here, yeah, this is perfectly usable. You see, what I really love about Kling is that if you feed him with like high quality images, like 4K images, you can get amazing result at the end. So for example, this one was just a simple transition from this look to this look and slowly zooming out to reveal the man. And as you can see, like we get insane result. Like look at the details in the skin and the eyes, the hair, everything is perfect. Looks like a real image. So as I said, still frame is the way to go. Motion is a bit more complicated to handle. For example, this one also was a bit hard, you know. Yeah, as you can see, it's a bit weird, but Here, the last frame is completely usable, which I used actually in the Nike commercial. This one looks nice. We kind of have the parallax effect for the people who know what it is. Here I tried to do like a transition from this to that. So the prompt was just like the man is walking as the camera is zoom out. So I want him to go in the stadium, you know, in the pit, but instead it just comes to me. But I ended up choosing like the last part, which was perfect for me. So yeah, like I said, you have to do some cherry picking. So now that I had all my videos and all my animations, I exported them into a file into my computer. So as you can see here, you have like all the scenes, and in the scenes you have the still frame, which are these ones that I use. I named them by just a number that are gonna go through in the video, you know, like chronological number. And then here you have the videos, same stuff, so that they can be in the right order, so that later on when I want to edit, it's perfect, you know, it's already in the right order that I want to use them. And I did that for every scene. So this is like the scene number 2 with the mom, and they say different videos, as you can see. And this is the 3rd scene where the kid is actually playing. Here we go. 4th scene where he's kind of like training, stretching and everything. And same thing for scene 5. If you don't really do this, you will get messy really fast. And I think that's the best way to go if you don't really want to feel overwhelmed. The final step was the edit, and that's where everything comes together. So as you can see, this is the edit. It's a simple time frame. I just started by putting everything into the timeline, and then I just cut everything that was a bit too long or a bit too weird, or if I had some AI artifact. And as I told you, the main part here was the music. So everything is timed with the music. For example, let me show you the first frame. You know, you have the piano that is doing dun, dun, dun. And at this moment, I knew that I needed something to change to establish the environment that we're in. So that's why I showed the ball really quickly, the poster of Cristiano Ronaldo really quickly, and then we have the introduction to the main character really fast. But as I told you guys, everything is timed with the music. And to do that easily, what you can do if you don't have the music on here is that you can just look at the waveform. As you can see, if we zoom in, here you see that we have a change of the music because the waveform is changing. Same thing here, same thing here. Same thing here again. And every time that we have a change in the music, we have a change in the image. And that's a really simple way to do an edit synchronized with the music that can look really nice. A couple of things that I've done is a bit of zoom in and zoom out, because sometimes it was a bit too still, you know, I wanted some movement. So for example, here I have like a small zoom in, as you can see, it's slowly, oh, sorry, small zoom out. Yeah, just to add a bit of movement. Same thing here, like this is something really interesting, I think. Instead of just like playing the whole thing that was just like that,
Still got my face, so I'll
you know, it's a bit annoying. So instead of doing that, I just cut it like the sequence. So I did that basically to show you guys. Cut it like that, cut like that, remove that, and just like do something like that. Here we go. So this is called the jump cut. And this is a good way to add a bit of motion when you want to do a zoom in and be synchronized with the music. So it looks like that.
go my way. Still got my face, so I'll be okay.
And I did this technique a lot. I did it again here. See? And I did a bit of jump cut here also,
Spend a lot of time.
which is for me the best transition of the whole video. Here also you kind of have a transition which is more like a video transition. So at the moment where he shoots the ball, there is a transition to another video where he also shoots the ball, but it's also a storytelling transition because he is a bit older. So it kind of acts as a storytelling tool also. Again, it's really important to work with the music because you're going to hear the lyrics. The guy is saying smile on my face, and that's where I put the moment smiling, you know?
Today, smile on my face, may not go my way.
And then obviously we end up with the slogan and with the Nike logo, which again is timed perfectly with the music, as you can hear. Like,
Made some mistakes, but learned a few things, so I'll be okay.
you know, this is kind of a feel-good element, you know? And to be honest, that's basically it for the edit. You don't need to do crazy stuff if you already have the right storytelling. That's why I spent like a lot of time choosing the right music and thinking about the story. By the way, if you watch this whole video for free, I'm asking just one thing in return, guys. Just fill out the form in the description below so I can get more information about what you want, what are your needs, and what kind of tools or service you would need. So again, thanks a lot. So I hope it was helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any question or if you have any doubts. I will be happy to answer them. And also if you like the ad itself. By the way, I made a whole video on how to create an AI UGC ad. The video is just here if you want to check it out. So don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel because I'm putting videos every week like this one. And I see you in the next one. Peace out.